Hi, I'm Danny and these are my Diecast Disasters. In this video I'm going to be restoring and customizing what is one of my dream cars, a Porsche 959, and this is a Matchbox one. Matchbox produced these from 1986 until 2005, and this red one was from 1998. And Porsche produced the real life 959 from 1986 until 1993. And what was so cool about the 959 is it was designed to be a Group B rally car, and therefore it was all-wheel drive. It was also the world's fastest street legal production car when it was released, reaching speeds of just shy of 200 miles an hour. Checking out our example here off the turntable, looks like it's been pretty well played with there. Wheels are a bit worn out, it's missing plenty of paint. It looks like it might have spent a bit of time in a sand pit or something. The windscreen luckily is in great condition, apart from a little bit of scuffing. It's always a plus. So I'll start taking it apart by drilling out the posts. Now I can pop the bottom off and then take out the interior and the windscreen. There's another shallow rivet holding the windscreen in, so I'll carefully drill that out. I'll make sure I don't drill through the roof of the car. And there we go, there's the casting all ready for paint stripping. So I take it to the shed and paint on some paint stripper. There's all the paint peeling off. I'll give it a rinse in some water, and this is how it ends up. So 99% of the paint gone off of that. Next I give it a clean up with the wire wheel on my rotary tool, and this will get rid of all of that oxidation that's all over it and also the remaining paint there. And after a few minutes of that, it comes out looking like this, nice and clean and shiny. Now this was when I took a closer look at the casting, and it's actually got some pretty rough areas on it. It's like still tool marks and stuff in there. I don't know how easy it is to see on camera here. Anyway, I'll have to give that a bit of a clean up. I use some sandpaper to do this. I'm starting out with some 600 grit. And then I move on to some 1200 grit. There, that's looking a bit smoother. I'll just take a close up here and you can see the difference between the side I've done and the side that I haven't done. So I'll continue this process all over the car, and this is it after I've finished. Now it's nearly ready for painting, but just before I did that I drilled and tapped the posts there so I can use some screws to put it back together with later. Next I painted it with some black primer. There we go, and this is how it came out looking. And so the colour I've chosen for my 959 is a nice silver. So it's on with a couple of coats of Vallejo metal colour silver. I really like the metal colour range. It's really great for the small scale stuff as the particles in the paint are really tiny. And here is our 959 body after 2 coats of the silver. It's looking pretty cool. Next I painted in some details, the headlights and the grills and such. And I've printed some custom 959 license plates here. I'm just using a little bit of PVA glue to put those on. And I've also made a little Porsche badge for the bonnet there. Moving on to the plastic parts now. They're all fairly grubby, they're going to need a wash. I'll just pop these old wheels and axles out of there. And then I take them inside to the sink and give them a good clean. Here they are, looking a lot cleaner. So for the base here, I'm just going to give it a nice fresh coat of some tough black paint. Easy as. Taking a look at the interior here, it's okay, but the steering wheel there is a bit scungy, so I've cut this more detailed one off of another spare interior I had. And I'll just use a tiny bit of super glue to glue it in place there. It's looking a bit better, I think. The whole thing was given a coat of black paint. Then I detailed in the two-tone silver seats. The black interior 959s had two-tone silver leather seats. How 80s is that? Here's the windscreen. It's nice, it's got no cracks in it, but it's a little bit scuffed. So I'm going to start out with some 2000 grit sandpaper and just give it a good going over. Make sure I don't sand down those windscreen wipers there though. This is how it looks after sanding. I've sanded off the worst of the scuffing, but now it's all opaque, so I'm going to have to give it a polish with some plastic polish. And this is how it came out after all of that. Looking a bit shinier and smoother, I think. And finally, of course, here are those grotty old wheels. Look fairly play-worn and grubby. I'm going to be replacing with these nice new aftermarket ones. Look at those. Of course, they're black and I want them to be silver. So I give them all a couple of coats of the silver paint. There they go. They're looking a lot better now. I just need to put the tyres on them. Oh, it's being a bit difficult. Doesn't want to go on there. And there we go. There's the tyre on it. It's looking great. So that's all the work done, and here are all the parts of our Porsche 959 refurbished, repainted and ready to go back together. I was quite excited to see this car go back together. It's one of my most favourite cars ever. So while I'm frantically reassembling it behind my back here, let's just take a moment to look back and be reminded of what we started with. Here's our red Matchbox Porsche 959 all the way from 1998. Definitely looking worse for wears, missing a lot of its paint there. It's a scuffed windscreen, worn out wheels, and just looking fairly grubby, like it's been on a rally maybe, who knows. But it's definitely time for a clean up and a makeover, so let's see what we can do. And here it is, our Matchbox Porsche 959, stripped down and then restored and customized. The battle-worn red paint job straight from the 90s is long gone, replaced with a tidy new silver one. It's been detailed inside and out, including a new steering wheel, a nice new badge and some custom 959 license plates. And it's also had those old horrible wheels replaced with some cool aftermarket ones. I'm really liking how this came out. Definitely one of the coolest cars ever, I think. Imagine how cool that thing would be to drive. You can let me know what you think in the comments down below. Thanks heaps to everyone for watching the videos, commenting and supporting the channel. Extra special thanks to my awesome Patreon supporters. They help to support the channel through Patreon. If you'd like to join them and help me keep making videos like this for you to watch, you can check out my Patreon page. There's a link in the description down below. Thanks heaps for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did and you'd like to see more similar content, remember to subscribe and hit the bell, give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends.